think the state of Kentucky has a real pride in bourbon, in that kind of history and that kind of legacy, and being the country's native spirit.
Kentucky is known for the rolling hills, at least the central part, or what you call bourbon country.
Things are a little less explored out this way and a little less known. Here you're getting a kind of a first look as a cyclist coming to these places.
The Kentucky Bourbon Trail isn't a specific route. It's just a beautiful way to see the countryside and visit all the distilleries. And we thought what better way to do that than on bikes.
I remembered some of the roads we were riding on from having gone to school here a bunch of years ago, but it was really cool to be reintroduced to how great the roads here are in Kentucky.
People are used to go to wine tasting when they ride bikes, but I think the bourbon could be a pretty good idea if you want to do a bike trip next.
I didn't know bourbon all that well. I didn't know much about it or what I really liked, but having the chance to taste a bunch of different stuff, you know, having stuff explained in the way you can kind of figure it out, it definitely made it more enjoyable.
I think you could probably do a tasting anywhere, but having the people there to walk you through the tasting is what really helps you get through the tastings in the best way.
Didn't really like bourbon, but after this trip, I'm learning to like it.
You know, when you're at home, you don't really have the luxury of having a dozen bottles of bourbon that you can try right next to one another or really close together, so it's tough to really compare flavors a lot of times.
Grab a glass. Best bourbon you guys have ever had. It's called free bourbon.
There's so much education that I learned behind it. The knowledge of the people that we got tours from at all of the distilleries, I was super impressed, and I definitely learned a lot. It changed my perspective.
This is called the Diamond Edition. This was released about 2 weeks ago. There were only 22 cases of that produced. I'm the 5th generation of my family to kind of own and operate the inn. I have deep roots in the bourbon industry. My great-great-grandfather was actually given a distillery as a wedding present that he started in 1879. There are some people that say, oh yeah, we live in bourbon country and you know, it is what it is. There are other people who are very passionate about it, and I'm one of those.
We're right in the thick of the bourbon universe for sure right here, and passions run really deep with this industry, which I think is what makes Kentucky so special and what makes the state and bourbon so intertwined.
It's a native spirit. It's developed here, from here, part of here. We're known for it. You take a certain bit of pride in being a part of that.
My name is Mark Kaufman. I'm the master distiller at Town Branch Distillery. Kentucky bourbon migrated from the eastern United States during the tax revolution. So bourbon first got its foothold just by the native products that were available at this area. That moved more emphasis away from, at that time, they were distilling a lot of rum and rye whiskeys.
Thompson Willett started the distillery just right after the end of Prohibition. They broke ground in spring of '36, and March 17th of 1937, St. Patrick's Day, they put their first barrel in the storage in this warehouse, in Warehouse A, and still in the family today. The water we use here on the property, it's underground, spring-fed water, pure, pristine, rich in calcium, iron-free. That's one of the chief reasons why Thompson Willett loved this property for a distillery. Obviously, a quality water source is chief to making good whiskey.
All this water through the aquifers here are filtered through limestone, and it removes any kind of iron that's in the water. So it's a very nice, pure water that we use for distilling. It's still very exciting, very adventurous, if you can wait for that product to come off.
Once it comes off the still and we put it into the charred oak barrel, then you still gotta be patient. Gotta wait at least a minimum of 2 years if you wanna call it straight bourbon or straight rye whiskey. And obviously, oftentimes, it's significantly older than that.
It's cool to ride with a bunch of different people who are, you know, not your usual training partners at home.
Everybody had fun at dinner, at night. Everybody was able to joke with each other and poke fun at each other.
It's just a group of people that enjoyed being on bikes, and so when you got into that group, that passion and that fun of just riding these awesome roads came out. And so the group was tremendous to ride with.
I've had the chance in my career to ride all kinds of roads and everywhere in the world, and I was really impressed with the roads in Kentucky.
Last time I was here in Kentucky was for the Louisville 2013 Cyclocross World Championships, and that was at the end of winter. Totally different climate, definitely a great destination for early season cycling.
I love just the mixing in of the distillery tours and the riding. I think it was a good combination. Brings what the culture lifestyle of my idea of cycling is these days, just having fun on the bike and seeing new things on and off the bike, but always connected to the road.
The Bourbon Trail is such a wonderful experience. I think you're doing it the right way. You're not on the 4-lane. You're off seeing the countryside.
4 days, 175 miles, starting in Lexington, which has such a great small town feel, and then ending in Louisville with its amazing history of both bourbon and cycling. We couldn't have asked for a better trip.
After you've biked 40, 50, 60 miles, hitting up a bourbon distillery is not too bad. So I think it was a good game plan y'all had.
Come on out, get your butt kicked by the roads in a good way, and taste some great bourbon.